purchase necessary for sweepstakes, void where prohibited. Visit CastroTruckSweeps.com for program rules and a winner.
Live from the Pathway Studios in Johnston proper. You are live from the path.
And you're listening to Live from the Path. We're broadcasting from the Pathway Studios in Johnston proper. I'm Ed Foose. It's good to see you here on a beautiful Monday evening. Crisp, warm. They got a pen? I didn't see the video. Okay, Shane Wood it is. All right, good. I need some stuff.
Yeah, it looks like they're just in town. Seems like it. Trust Amco. Oh no, they're not just here in town. No, Amco's all around the United States. Okay. I'm so excited. I was like, this is great.
Live from the Pathway Studios in Johnston proper. You are live from the path.
And you're listening to Live from the Path, broadcasting from Pathway Studios here in Johnston proper. Thank you for hanging out with us on this beautiful evening. I hope yours is going well.
I can't make heads or tails of life, Ben.
Yeah, no, I understand. Here's what's going on tonight on the show. We are plugging away. We're on number 42 on the proofs that God is imaginary from godisimaginary.com. We should be able to give a defense of our faith even to someone who believes that our God is fake. And we'll be trying to do that on proof number 42. Also, interesting stuff in the news. There was a relatively tragic event in, or not relatively, it was a tragic event in Rick Warren's life, Pastor Rick Warren's life, and also an elaborate hoax on Joel Osteen, which was funny. But what I want to talk about is the Christian reaction to both of those is very, very disappointing to me. Just embarrassing. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. Also, we got some advice on Dear Life from the Path. Oh, hey, we got some stuff to give away. We got some stuff today or tomorrow on Tuesday. Ring the Bell is a new movie that's coming out.
A feature-length film, Ben.
It is. It features Christian music artists Casting Crowns, Stephen Curtis Chapman, and Matthew West, and baseball legends Rick Sutcliffe, John Crook, and Ben Zobrist.
Now, hold on. Stephen Curtis Chapman is acting in this rig?
No. I think he just got tunes in it.
No, I think he's in there making a cameo.
Oh, no.
Buying a candy bar.
Yeah, he is. Okay. Anyway, here's the deal. I got one for your pleasure.
Yeah, we're giving them away.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And so here's what we're going to do. This is a shameless plug to get you to hit the Facebook or the email and let us know that, hey, I want one. We're not even going to do like a raffle. People hate raffles. Did I win? Did I not win? The first 3 people that show up to the Facebook or we get an email from and say, hey, I want the thing, give us your address and we'll send it to you.
Yeah.
That's it. Cut and dry.
That's a good deal.
It's called Ring the Bell. We're not even going to open it. We haven't opened it to watch your copy. We'll watch our own copy. We're going to give you an unopened one, and we might put an Andy's Mint in the package. Just kind of depends.
I licked the outside of one of them.
Unless we're out of Andy's Mints, and then you're just getting a movie. But that's it. Hit us up on the Facebook at Live from the Path, or you can send us an email at info@livefromthepath.org, and then whammo, it's yours.
It's yours. Hey, also, if you're hanging out on the live show or the podcast, there's still time to catch the tickets for the Audio Adrenaline show. That's this Thursday at Indianola Community Church.
I've talked to Audio Adrenaline's management, and they've assured me that they're going to tell Audio Adrenaline that we are not creepy, and they might sit down and talk to us. These are all big maybes, but she did say that she would say that we're not creepy. So that's a big time bonus and more than we've ever gotten before.
All right.
So I feel like the odds of one of them coming by on accident, I mean, it's got to be 75%.
At least they won't try to avoid us.
Yeah.
What if we just station ourselves out by the bathroom?
Now, let me ask you a question. When we're out on like we'll use a showbiz term, we'll call it a remote.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
out doing remote broadcasting.
That's us.
Is it shameless to wear your own duds? Like, is it wrong for me to wear a Live from the Path shirt?
I don't think so. I think that gives you some credibility.
I don't see a problem with it.
Okay, sounds like a go.
I
I'll
always
do
wear
it.
a shirt that says I'm with the band when I go to a concert. They don't let me in, though.
Now, here's the thing, Dan. I don't know how you got on this radio show, but in any case, okay, so we're going to wear the Live from the Path gear. So when you show up at this Audio Adrenaline show in Indianola, come sit down and talk to us. We'll probably put you on the air because, frankly, you got to be more entertaining than us at the moment. And then when Audio Adrenaline stops by, we'll act like we're long-lost buds, and they'll have no choice but to sign your stuff on our behalf.
Yeah.
So
We're in.
double score.
Double score. Speaking of other stuff coming up, we'll be at that Audio Adrenaline show on Thursday. Also, Building 429 is going to be in town later on in the month. We're going to be broadcasting from that.
Along with the Rhett Walker Band.
Heck yeah.
Give it up.
And, Troy, you're supposed to give it up.
I said give it up. The Rhett Walker Band, give it up. Man, okay, Troy isn't going to the remotes either, so it's just me and Ben. Creepy Dan from junior high's not going, and unenthusiastic Troy's not going. So
Troy and I
far
wear our own T-shirts.
it's the two balding 30-year-olds.
Excuse me. That's what you do. You're in some kind of club or whatever. Someone goes, "Give it up," and you do like a golf clap behind your ears.
Well, I'm not just going to randomly start screaming
you
here.
can't smoke cigars in here. I hate this place. That's how you act. Anyway, Building 429 and Rhett Walker Band, we're broadcasting from that place. So that's going to be an awesome show.
Are we broadcasting the concert, or are we just broadcasting from
We're
there?
broadcasting everything.
We get the whole deal.
We're going to follow you to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're going to get the all-encompassing show.
Wow.
I feel like you shouldn't be involved in the remote show either. You just said
Doesn't
you're calling
matter.
people
You're
to-
not going. So not for you to worry about.
just going to stay home with my Jolly Rancher.
Fine. You're hanging out with me, and you can't go either.
Number 3, the Audrey Assad show is coming up in Ames. When's that?
Yeah, that's at Zeke's. That's on the 22nd.
22nd.
Now, okay, here's a potential problem with this Audrey Assad show. And I didn't want to say this, but here's the problem. It conflicts with the Live from the Path broadcast.
Oh, no.
Ooh,
Oh,
it
no.
does.
How do you make decisions like this,
Now listen,
Ben?
you have okay. Here's the thing. I do a flip a coin type of approach.
Yeah.
Except I've pasted a picture of myself on both sides of the coin. That way, I'm always a winner.
Whatever Ben wants. Tell me, Ben.
And here's where I got that from. You remember when Jesus is talking about, they ask him whether you pay the taxes. He's like, whose image is on this coin, right? It's Caesar. And he thought, give to Caesar what is Caesar's. And I thought, what is Ben's?
But what belongs to me, Lord?
How will I know unless my image is on a coin? So I pasted my face on a quarter on both sides, and then I know someone will flip it one day and bring something to me.
Okay, so
They'll
you
have no choice if they've read the Bible.
You can do Ben's prideful beast method, or you can do the what I refer to as the pray, check, and pray method. Pray on it, and then check out and see what else has gone down, and then pray again, and then whatever you come up with, that's what you're gonna do.
Anyway, that's what's going on. That's what's coming up. Time to clear your April calendar and do what we're doing, because we're pretty sweet.
Yep.
That's Live from the Path. You can check out more information at livefromthepath.org. The list of upcoming events is on the right-hand side. The only thing you could ignore is Brian Leach was supposed to be on the show tonight. He's not here.
Total fail.
I don't know.
I'm supposed to send a reoccurring email and say, hey, you still coming? But apparently the Life from the Path brand doesn't have a strong enough tether to catch him a month out. So I make commitments, and then I should be calling him up and saying, hey, you still going to make it? And then I didn't do that, so fail.
Yeah, bummer. All right, anyway, that's what we got going on the show tonight. Make sure you're hanging out with us on the chat. If you can't see the chat, hit that refresh button, and it'll pop on up for you. And we can. I'd like to hear what you think, because I can't really get enough of what I think, but every once in a while I'd like to have you chop in.
All I know is they don't have cigars in here, and this is really disappointing me.
This is me giving it up.
Give it up for a Jolly Rancher.
Is Ralph Lauren still popular? That's you.
All right. I'm not. Shoot. I come off as really conceited, but I stand way more often. Hello. Hello. You don't get it.
I'm carrying the show tonight, boys.
Seems like it.
Just me.
It's the Mike Show.
Here we go.
Conceited, but I stand more often. Yeah.
It turns out.
What is the next portion of our broadcasting tonight?
Turns out that God is imaginary. Get us, Ben.
Shoot.
That was the segue, Ben.
That coin total lie. Proof number 42. We're looking on GodIsImaginary.com. We're walking through the 50 proofs, plus 3 bonus in a video on how God is imaginary. This is proof number 42, and the proposition is, listen when God talks, and God talks is in quotes. Here's the proof.
Oh, man, I feel like he's going to debunk my whether to go to the Andre Assad concert method.
If you know a group of devout Christians, you will frequently hear them say to each other, and even to people outside the group, things like this.
Hey, you.
Okay, my husband and I are not sure what to do in this situation. We are going to pray to God and see what he tells us to do.
Yeah, that's what we do. We fit the devout Christian bill.
Yes, finally.
He's got
The
us,
devout ones never call us that.
he's got us pegged. Here we go. According to televangelists and ministers,
Dang it.
I like that he's made a distinction here.
At least they're not putting us together.
God also frequently talks to them as well. In other words, Christians believe that God transmits divine messages to his followers in response to prayer. Christians actually believe that the almighty, all-knowing creator of the universe is talking to them personally and guiding their decisions. Now think about this. Let's say that the all-powerful, all-knowing creator of the universe was going to transmit personal messages to Christians. Wouldn't you expect the people receiving these messages to blow the rest of us away in every intellectual endeavor? Wouldn't you expect someone who is directed by God to be a genius? Wouldn't every Christian student get a perfect score on every test simply by praying to God for the answers? Imagine, for example, that a Christian is having trouble deciding what color couch to buy. So she prays to God for guidance. Wouldn't you expect the all-powerful, all-knowing creator of the universe to come back with a message that just completely blows all of us away? For example, wouldn't you expect a Christian to say, I prayed to God to help me decide which color couch to buy, and the next thing I hear is God's voice in my head, and he starts telling me how to build a nuclear fusion reactor that will completely solve the world's energy problems. It's some kind of crazy laser pump tokamak thing. I have no idea what he was talking about, but I was the vessel for his spirit, and I have transcribed the messages and diagrams that God sent to my brain in these 14 notebooks. You can see that we now have complete construction details for a perfect, pollution-free, inexpensive fusion reactor, .. praise the Lord. Yes, that is what you expect from the all-powerful, all-knowing creator of the universe, if God were real. You would expect the messages that God sends to blow us out of the water with their brilliance. The fact that God's message to Christians are completely mundane tells us that God is imaginary. What the Christian typically gets is this message: buy the red couch. That voice was my emphasis. He said, oh, shoot. Have I created a voice idol?
Yep.
You're out.
Repent.
You're done.
That message, of course, is the Christian's own brain making a decision because God is completely imaginary. Live from the path, fellas. Oh, what do you say?
Boova?
I like the fact that he made a distinction of the televangelists and ministers say this. So I think he's looking for once again where God solves all of our problems by just randomly giving us messages, and then world hunger is solved because he let us know. Then our energy crisis is solved because he let us know in these divine messages that he's saying that we're receiving and should be receiving, and brilliance coming from us. But in no way are all the scientific discoveries that we're making in any way, shape, or form possibly linked back to God. If somebody were to say, well, I figured out the concept of the Hadron Collider, and I figured out how we can make mini black holes by throwing electrons at each other at the speed of light and crushing them together, that couldn't possibly be God going through that.
Wait a minute. You see this face that I'm making?
Uh-huh.
This is the face I make when I'm trying to stay interested in what you're saying with the Hadron Collider. What is that?
What?
What is that, what you're saying?
I just explained it.
What does it do?
It's a super collider that takes electrons and it actually accelerates them to close to the speed of light and crashes them together.
It's irrelevant. Condense.
Good
What
point.
are you talking about?
I'm sorry.
So what I'm saying is he's saying that could not possibly be God, but he's wanting something along the lines of this laser pumped tokamak thing that he's saying, and that's how it's possible that God is imaginary. And it's ridiculous. He's expecting us to be brilliant and coming from this, but when that happens, he couldn't possibly credit that to God.
Actually, I feel like he's missing the point that his ways aren't our ways, right? Like, I don't know that I know any followers of Christ that are asking what color a couch to pick out, right? I feel like that is generally not an issue. If you're trying to follow Jesus, you tend to pray, Father, show me what you want me to do. May whatever I'm doing be for your glory and my joy. I don't care what the color is. If it glorifies you and I can dig on it, I love that, right? And so I feel like he's characterizing Christians as selfishly following God. And if that's what I've done that. Like, I'm not saying that's out of my purvey of living. Like, I've selfishly followed God at interstitial parts of my life. But like, if you're looking for God's glory and your joy, God's glory comes first, and you ask God what he wants and say, I'm ready. And really, I mean, he may care what color couch you have, but generally I don't know that he speaks on that subject.
I'm not really convinced that he cares what color couch you have.
He may.
He cares. Yeah.
You don't know that. Maybe he's got big plans for that couch.
Here's the thing: is the Holy Spirit inspired a big old book with a bunch of stuff that God wants us to know.
Exactly.
I feel like if a couch was a big deal, it'd been in there.
Well, it's not. He doesn't want the same couch for everybody.
God has cured. He has prevented every social disease from ever happening. He has said it clearly in His Word. He has fed every poor person, and He's told us clearly in His Word how to do that. Not through the government, not through taxes, but through individual people sharing what they have, what God has given them. You don't have social diseases if you stay pure until marriage and then remain pure. You don't have divorce if, marriages don't break up if you follow what He said. He says all kinds of stuff to us, and it's so clear. It's actually in black and white in print.
Well, isn't that isn't what he's saying though? Like you're saying it's all in the Bible.
Well,
then why do you need to pray for?
Well, he's saying that wouldn't we all be geniuses? You know what? If we actually just lived what is written, we would be geniuses.
And then you'd have no reason to pray?
Well, we'd still pray. We'd have a relationship and a connection with God. And he's acting like the things that this man is interested in are frivolous. I mean, we have energy. We have things. I mean, how about if we went...
Here comes the gossip.
Okay, let me maybe take this from a different angle. His proposition is that wouldn't you expect that the all-powerful, all-knowing creator of the universe to come back with a message that just completely blows us all away? You think that the God of the universe would produce something that completely blows us all away?
I think he already has.
He has done that.
Yeah.
That's what makes him the all-knowing, all-powerful creator of the universe. I tell you what, you design an earth, you design a universe that functions the way that it does with all its little bits and pieces, and then I will be blown away by you. And then I can worry about whatever your problems are. But to the extent that I can look at around me and say, yeah, that blows me away. Look at this bird. I said me and the kids and my wife sat and watched a couple of doves like kind of pecking around at each other and shaking around and stuff. And like even watching a bird, you're like, look at that bird over there. That thing's wild. Even a couple of them, you're trying to figure out what they're saying to each other and stuff. And it's whatever. This expectation that God has not already done something. Like, what about you is not impressed? What about this world is not impressive to you? Except for the fact that the things that we humans have screwed up, and you want to be not impressed by that. Okay, well then direct that at the people responsible for it. But I don't understand this thought that, like, well, if God were real, he would be doing something that would impress me.
Yeah. What this guy needs is a little end of the book of Job action.
Yeah.
Where God shows up and says,
Yes, now we're talking.
Do you know where the snows are kept? Do you know? Can you
basically
break
says,
the hook in
sit
the
down and
Leviathan's mouth?
shut up.
Yeah, gird yourself, young man.
Yeah,
I will speak and you will
listen. Yep.
I feel like he failed.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like, from his perspective, I guess I could probably see that. Obviously, without the relationship, that's what it is. It's a genie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a rub the bottle, see what happens. And as far as he can see, no fruit ever comes from the bottle.
Well, he's going to the absurd. What's the word?
Absurd.
Absurd. Yeah, I can't say it.
I guess the thing is, if you're looking for a traditional genie, God isn't a good one. Because he doesn't care to serve you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a genie. The stories of a genie is the guy's shackled, he's trapped in the thing, he has to give you the wishes. Like, that simply isn't God's gig.
Yeah.
He's not required to serve you. And
Sure
so,
hope you like
if
the
that's
color.
what you're looking for, then yeah, God's not going to be the flavor that you want.
Yeah.
And so, no wonder you're disappointed. You think God is something that he clearly states that he doesn't do.
Very true.
What was that?
Doesn't?
Felt like a bird was tweeting in here.
I talked
One
to you
of those
about
birds.
I was telling you about birds.
Man.
They were reading Song of Solomon.
Okay. Anyway, so I guess if I were to look at this in a sympathetic light, I would say that I would agree that if you don't believe that God is who he says he is, then you've created God on what you want him to be, and because he's not that, he's simply a failure to you.
And I would also agree that sometimes believers will say ridiculous things as if God told them to do something.
Uh-huh.
So he's right, and I would agree with him. They're ridiculous.
You know what? Frankly, some believers struggle with that, me included.
Yeah.
Right, trying to decipher what God's got me doing and what He doesn't. But I feel like if you're doing it earnestly, you'll default to more prayer, not less. You know what I'm saying? You'll default to praying more often and finding out what the deal is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, that was proof number 42. Let's take a quick look at what 43 will look like, so you're prepared for next week. Proof number 43 starts like this: realize that a hidden God is impossible. Here is a line of reasoning that Christians will frequently use to try to rationalize the complete lack of evidence for God's existence. In the book, The Case for Faith, the author Lee Strobel interviews Peter Kreeft, Ph.D. Dr. Kreeft says the following: Scripture describes God as a hidden God. You have to make the effort of faith to find him. There are clues you can follow, and if that weren't so, if there was something more or less than clues, it's difficult for me to understand how we could really be free to make a choice about him. Clues? Hidden? According to the Bible, God incarnated himself. He created an entire human body named Jesus. This is not a clue. That is a huge, obvious piece of evidence. It's very hard to hide a 170-pound human being who's running around performing miracles on every street corner. Then you collect the stories of those miracles and publish them in a book. Where is the hiding in that? So, yeah. Anyway, that's the preface for next week.
Interesting.
We'll be ready for it.
Yeah. We'll see what goes on. Anyway, that's you can find out more if you want to by going to GodIsImaginary.com. You can read through the proofs, and if you want to have a really Yahtzee of a time, you can go back and listen to our past shows and see how we answered it. And maybe help us improve upon the answers. You read through one, you listen to us talk, and you're like, you guys are way off, send us an email. Let us know what it was like to be able to improve the way that we can defend our faith. And if you can help us out with that, we'd love to hear from you. You're listening to Live from the Path. We're on here every Monday night from 10 to 11 p.m. on livefromthepath.org. You can catch our live show, and you can participate on the chat, or you can catch us Saturday nights at 7 o'clock on 99.3 KTIA. There is bonus content if you want to hang out for the Monday night show or check out the podcast. Just get a few more minutes of extra flavor from the Live from the Path guys. It is no better or worse than the show itself. It's just a little more.
You get that free DVD. Let us know you want it. Just say, hey, I want that DVD.
Yeah. Ring-a-ding-a.
Ring the bell.
All right.
Hey.
All right. So here's what's going on in the news this week. So I
in
saw
the Christian realm.
Yeah. So you probably heard that Pastor Rick Warren, whoops, son died this week. It was very sad thing for the family and for his congregation. And also today, got word of an elaborate hoax upon Joel Osteen that he was leaving the ministry. He was leaving Christianity.
I had not heard either one of these.
So the hoax was very well played, by the way. I mean,
It looked pretty legit.
Like, I mean, there were clues that it was obviously a hoax. But the guy put some effort to it. In fact, it reminds me a lot of Our God is Imaginary Man. Like the types of things that he has Joel Osteen saying and the reasons and the justifications and stuff. It made me think of the God is Imaginary Man. But, put both of those aside and looking at people's reaction to these things. Because, like, when the hoax comes out and then people do a story that there's a hoax, there's a bunch of people that comment on it. And when the word came out about Rick Warren's son, there was a bunch of people that commented on that too. And I will tell you, it's not. I don't know that I could have been more disappointed and maybe partially embarrassed for some of the reactions to those two things. The reaction to finding out that someone had died, and because of your thoughts on a particular guy and maybe what he thinks or what he preaches on, he doesn't preach on the things that you want to hear, or you think he's soft in one area or whatever. And I'll put that on both of them, because both of them have in certain circles and by certain people will fall under that charge. And it's not relevant whether I agree or disagree. The point is like, what about a situation as a Christian do you think gives you the license to be a complete jerk?
But they're like Christian people that were.
Now they said so. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
My guess is, yeah.
Like
that's
against Rick
probably
Warren's situation?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. He just, both of these, things like, he totally deserved that. He was bound to happen given his false teaching, given his heresy.
These
Wow.
are
That's
stealing money.
these are bold moves.
Here's the thing. There's a difference. I get it. I get it that people are concerned about false teaching. I get that. All right. I share the concern. Okay. There's a difference between a wolf in sheep's clothing, a straight sheep who thinks they're not a sheep, maybe they think they're more.
A tall sheep.
Okay. And an ignorant and a goat who thinks they're a sheep, or maybe a wolf but doesn't really have any idea.
Right.
Okay. So, generally speaking, I don't care what it is. Okay. The biggest heretic that you can think of is a base level sinner. Okay. If they're wrong, they're just wrong in a way that angers you more than other ways. They could just be blind, straight up blind. Okay. Not intentionally malfeasant, but just straight up blind. That's it. And so there's just a lot of a lack of love there. And here's the thing: is if I see somebody that's totally walked away from God, my reaction is to pray.
Yeah.
Is to pray for that person, that they would come back to Christ, that they would see God for what He truly is, and if there are false things coming out of their mouth, that they would recognize them and repent. All right. That is not the reaction that we're getting from these people. They've taken it upon themselves personally, as if the things that go on are a personal offense to God more than something else, as if sin in general isn't offensive enough.
Well, I guess that's where I'm having a hard time, and is like, if we're the body of Christ, Christ's reaction was never to push someone farther away from Him, ever, right? Like his ultimate chess move was to sacrifice Himself so all sinners would have the opportunity to come back to Him, right? Never once did He make a move where it says, "I'm done with you. Get away from me. I'm punishing you now." When God punishes somebody and punishes Jesus too, right? That's not the deal. That's not the way it rolls down. So like when people, I don't know, that's kind of bold that someone says, it was bound to happen, or they deserved it, or whatever. Like,
yeah, what's the connection there?
I just don't. Yeah. I guess I'm not following you.
They take the things that they don't like about, like the teaching that comes out of both of those churches, and because they don't like the teaching, it doesn't fit what they believe or they think it's soft or whatever. Then it follows that there's a deserve of misfortune.
I feel like there's a certain sense of pride there. Now, I'm not saying that I've not fallen victim to this before, but like, there's a certain sense of pride when you think my interpretation is the only one, right? Like, there's certain things that we can't negotiate on. Jesus is God. He died for our sins. We're sinners who needed a Savior, right? Those aren't up for negotiation. But like some of the things, like where you may think so and so is soft or so and so is too harsh, you know, I feel like, you know, there's a certain sense of bravado there that says, the way I've read it is the only way it can be read, and then that's it, and everyone else is now against God, right? What was that one guy? Was it Gamaliel? You know, when Peter and in Acts, right? Peter and who was the other guy? Anyway, they got brought before him, before the Pharisees, and that Gamaliel character says, "Look, you know, fellas, you need to tone down about this, about putting these guys in prison, because you might find yourself on the opposite side of God, and that's not where we want to be." Now, whether that was a bold political move on his part or just you know, an ingenious strike of God working through him, in either case, shouldn't that scare you that you're going up against people who claim to know Jesus? Should it at least scare you a little bit that you might end up on the other side of God?
Yeah, I would say so.
When you're acting this way, right? And then Hebrews comes rolling into play where it says it's a dreadful thing to fall in the hands of a living God, right? Like,
yeah. Now, at the same time, I mean, like, it's pretty easy to target Osteen and find a lot of flaws.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
But you don't. I wouldn't call him a non-Christian. I wouldn't say he's worthy of like punishment or anything. I would disagree.
Well,
with
certainly
him.
not by us.
Yeah, exactly. I would just say, okay, here's what the Bible really says. Take him with a grain of salt. You know, get your pump me up. You know, fluffy talk from him if that's what you need for the day. But go to the Bible and read it. You know, Rick Warren's a little more solid.
Yeah.
He's a little soft on some stuff too. But at least he tends to be.
Well, now listen, to be fair, like if let's say there was more than 5 people listening to this radio show, if you took half the things that we said in this radio show, strung them out throughout a year, I'd spend more time retracting what I said because it wasn't biblical than the things that I say that are right. You know what I'm saying? Like, great, there's a level of responsibility that you have to adhere to if you're going to put yourself out there for Jesus, right? But once again, sinners, human. I come on this show, just like you guys, attempting to glorify my Father, and because I think it's a good time, right? I probably screw that up more times than I get it right. You know, and like if they took the things that I say here and the things that I say in regular conversation, and you played that out through the internet and on TV, I would look like a real schmuck.
But you know what? You would probably, if you had prepared ahead of time, say something different at our show. And they're all saying... They're teaching they prepared ahead of time, and it's just wrong. Sometimes, not always, but there's you know, some here and there. So it's not the same. It's kind of apples and oranges there, I think. But still,
kind of I expect correct doctrine out of people, right? I expect biblical base, but like I feel like once they get, it's like the evangelical pope. Well, that's what we're growing, right? Like we put guys up, we put them up as the pope of the evangelicals, and then we hold them to everything they say, and they're still sinners and they're still people.
Yeah, but like you're probably not going to say that, the Muslims are Christians.
No, I wouldn't say that. Yeah. No.
Okay. I've heard one of these guys say something to that effect. You know, which you just go, okay, that's just not right.
Well, now to be fair, if you take that guy in that same situation, and granted, like, maybe I guard my spiritual teaching a little bit more, but like, wherever I get my spiritual teaching, it gets verified back through the Bible filter to know whether I should even be listening to that guy. So now, if there's X number of people going to this church and X number of people going to this church, and they're all blindly looking at him going, tell me more about the Bible I don't read. Yeah. What do you expect?
And still, going back to the issue is that I may totally disagree with at least one of these guys most of the time, but I surely don't wish harm on him.
Absolutely not.
Or on his family, or on his church, or, you know.
That's God's
just
church.
I guess I wasn't quite sure how to articulate what my reaction was here, but I guess my first reaction was that for the split second that I thought that Joel Osteen thing was true, it made me very, very sad.
It was sad because I really believed it.
I
was like, I could see him doing that. But I thought, man, that's kind of over the top. I could see it.
I don't care who it is. You find someone that makes a public statement of basically anti-faith. If that was the case, I mean, your reaction should be sadness.
Yeah.
Should be prayer and sadness. You do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths. Just because you're not speaking, because you're typing it on the internet as some kind of anonymous dude. You got a picture of a fish as your profile picture, and you're going to post whatever you want. Like, don't be a fool. I don't understand this mind frame, where someone gets to be like a jerk for Jesus. Like, where is that at? Where's the bumper sticker that comes out of Acts 7 that says you get to be a jerk for Jesus? That's how you're going to change the world. I just it's just irritating because here's the thing: is high-profile stories like that. People that don't love Jesus read that stuff up.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
then it's full of doofuses in the comment section, stating the case for Christ in a totally embarrassing way that does not show. I am not asking anybody to bend on truth. I never would. That's foolishness. If you want to talk about bad theology, fine. Vet that out. I don't care. But, sinners have bad theology, all of them. Their life is a bad gospel. It preaches falseness because it's not God.
Here's the funny part, right? And this should strike you pretty true, is that most people that start to comment on those things or have something to say about these things, they're trying to purvey to people who may not know Christ, like, we're not all like that.
Yeah.
See, we're not all like these people. And then it should really boil down that the comment should be, we're all like that, right? Just not so publicly. We're all like that. That's the kind of people we accept. That's the kind of people God accepts. That's the kind of people we accept. Wouldn't that be a much better comment section instead of, oh, we're better than those people, or Jesus doesn't love those kind of people, or not all Christians are blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they are. They are like that. They're all just like that. And so maybe if you're coming at it from an outside perspective and you go, you know what, I feel like I fit in that category of people that screw things up. Who is this Jesus? It should really be going completely the opposite way. If you agree or disagree with those boys, you can look at them and go, God accepts those guys. Christ died for those guys, right? The same as me. We're in the same team, same group, right? They have some things we disagree on, but here's the deal, like that the same guy that preaches the soft gospel can stand right next to the guy that killed 5 people, and Jesus died for all those people the same, right? So our team accepts pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
So it feels weird to put the hi hat on because you claim to know Christ, that you're any less of a sinner, and maybe that's just the perspective change that maybe people are missing about them and the people around them. I guess I'm not gonna say that I haven't done that. I do that.
Yeah,
When I talk to people about Jesus, they always tell me their story of how they went to church when they were little, or they used to go to church, but then this and this and this and this happened. And I'm like, well, not all churches are like that. Blah blah blah. To a certain extent, it's true. I'm trying to get them back to know Jesus, but the truth of the matter is, Jesus likes staunch conservative, suit wearing, tight offering, shiny plates, just as much as they like the guy that shows up in street clothes and plays modern worship music with guitars. It's the same people. He accepts everybody the same, no better, no worse, right? You just need to find the group of believers that you fit into. And I've miscategorized other Christians based on that. Man, I'm more convicted now that I've started talking. I'm going to be quiet now. Repent my ways. Dang it.
I feel like that's a good thing if you're getting conviction from what you're saying.
Dang. From my own mouth, though. That's bad.
Preach it. Yeah. Wait, that's me.
Congregation of one. I've stepped down. I've accepted my own resignation.
Don't follow me.
I'm not a good spiritual leader.
You're listening to Live from the Path. Just try to pull yourself together, all right? It's important that God is heard, not that you were heard. Your personality does not reflect the positive nature of Jesus Christ all the time, especially if you find yourself online in a comment section. Just pull yourself, fight for truth all you want to. I love it. I'm for it. But the minute you start you start first stoning somebody,
especially when they're down.
Yeah, it puts you on a throne, and that's pathetic. That's not you. You don't belong there.
You're stealing the throne.
Yeah.
I don't believe those are really Christ followers, especially with the son who died. I mean,
was the Joel Osteen thing worth a smirk at least?
Oh, it's funny.
it was pretty fun.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Did he put out a statement defending himself?
The church did. Yeah.
Oh, bummer. I'd have done it personally.
The thing is like he's posed so many times in like really cheesy book photos and stuff. I mean, it looks just like hair not flowing in the wind, big old grin on his face. He has, you know what? A guy like that has the opportunity to do some awesome things for Christ. He's got the attention of people. If you just find it down to what it should be, we might have something.
I feel like I just have a hard time relating to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, everything is great. Everything is fantastic. I'm like, man, things are kind of rough. I'm like, I feel like me and you, I feel like me and you don't have anything in common, Mr. White Teeth, Cool Hair. I have bad teeth, no hair, and things are going crappy on my end. Man,
all right,
Mike Olstein, that's me.
There's no L in it.
Olstein,
No, it's O. It's Osteen.
Osteen.
Yeah,
that's not right.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been following the wrong guy on Twitter. I thought he'd been saying some weird stuff. What do you mean Alpos for me? What does that have to do with it?
Hey, check this out. So they did a survey among pastors at 16 relatively large congregations, and they said the main reason for declining church attendance is children's sports on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You agree with that, Dan?
Oh, absolutely. We have families every week on soccer, archery.
Archery? That's not a real sport.
It's a sport.
No,
Basketball.
No, it's not.
we have families gone for weekends. They have weekend stuff now. They're gone. I mean, not just Sunday morning. It's just the whole weekend. All the touring clubs.
I'm kind of afraid of that when my kids are 5 and 2 at the moment. I'm kind of afraid of that when they get older, that I'm going to have some confrontations.
You will.
With them.
We made it real simple. We said, here's the deal. You can be on every team you want. Sunday's God's.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't. I can't do it.
They get invited to the traveling teams. That's the kids are like, what do you mean? And it's like, we got invited to be this special team, blah, blah, blah. That's really great. We get the parents, go to the parent meeting. Well, we're going to be gone weekends, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, by the way, we're here Sundays. Oh, no, it's okay. It's just Sundays. Like, no. That's God's day. My family goes to church. They're all looking at you like, it's like, that's just what we do.
But archery has to be done on Sundays.
But the kids, you got to give them when they're young. You got to tell them when they're young. If you suddenly change your mind when they're 15, or even 10, they got to know before the opportunity comes.
Yeah.
Let them know now.
It's kind of weird. Me and the daughter were reading a Bible story, and we were reading the book. They were starting to talk about Samuel. We haven't gotten through much about Samuel, so we started reading about it. And me and my daughter Grace were sitting down talking about it. And this at the end of these Bible stories, it has leading questions, for you to kind of evaluate your faith and see where you're at. And once again, convicted by the children's Bible, I was reading it, and they were talking about how Hannah had Samuel and said, give me this baby and I will dedicate it back to God. And so the leading questions were, God gives us his best. Are you giving him your best? And I looked at my daughter and I said, Grace, I feel like we always read Bible stories before we go to bed, and sometimes when we come home late, we don't do it. Do you feel like that's giving God our best, or should we maybe move our Bible reading to maybe right when Dad comes home, and we'll do it right in the middle of the day so we don't miss it? She thought about it for a minute. She said, Dad, I feel like I can read the Bible all the time in the morning, and then I will eat breakfast, and then I will read the Bible some more, and then when I go to school, I'll bring my Bible with me, and I'll share it for show and tell them a Bible story. And then when I come home, I'll probably have read enough of the Bible. I was really looking for a dad-daughter moment, and we're going to read the Bible together, and she feel like she did a runaround on me.
Thanks, Dad. I can do it without you.
I can't tell whether she's conniving her way out of reading the Bible with me, or she really just wants to read the Bible all the time. And I thought, well, we're going to read it when Dad comes home. We're gonna, and then, of course, after I said that, I had to tell her the truth. I'm like, Grace, be honest with you, Dad reads his Bible before I go to bed, and sometimes I get tired and I don't read enough. Maybe I'm going to have to move my Bible reading. I feel like the entire Foose family is going to have to move their Bible reading somewhere more intentional, because God gives us his best. I feel like we can do better.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. You read the big Bible and you think, now I'm really getting it. And then you read the children's Bible and you're like, dang, maybe I'm back on the milk. Maybe the solid food. I tried to eat solid food too early.
I've been eating meat for quite a while.
I'm choking on it. Zechariah, I don't care. I need to know more. Tell me more, Samuel. Tell me more about my ways. Remember when I used to think Samson was all right? Mistake.
You read into it, you realize he's a terrible guy.
He has problems.
He's a dirty bum. We did a little bit of Samson Bible reading in youth group. And here's the thing: someone else was leading the lesson, and I was there for side commentary, right? So I did a little background theology work on it, and did some studying, and I was really hoping someone was going to school me, because I could not find one redeeming quality of Samson. Like, you're supposed to be able to tie it into Jesus and the Bible, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm missing, but I got nothing good to say about this guy. God gave him something great, and he ran for the hills with it. Every single time, someone's going to have to tie this together for me, because I don't have it. And it was funny, because I read it like 5 times, like, Lord, tell me how I can, tell kids about Samson and how he, further your kingdom. And I'm reading, I'm like, I hate Samson. He's really... And then what's funny now? I just thought we accept all people. Samson was the Joel Osteen of the Bible times. He does something that maybe other Christians don't like, but Jesus loves him the same. Fail.
There, you're listening to Live from the Path. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. You can catch us online during the week at livefromthepath.org. You can sign up for the podcast. Shoot us an email, info@livefromthepath.org, and we'll get you a free DVD if you're one of the first 3 folks that lets us know on Facebook, on the email, and let us know that you want that ring the bell. Sometimes the next big thing isn't what you expect with Casting Crowns and Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Ben, you don't sound very excited about it. I feel like you're not really giving the movie its full shake.
It's a delicious launch. There's a guy ringing the bell right on the front of it.
Well, then you already know the ending. It says ring the bell.
He's got a sweet.
I guess he did it.
He's going to do it.
He's got 2 buttons down, a sweet ride behind him, and he's about to ring that bell. I feel like it's everything.
We'll have Dan watch it tonight.
Okay.
Maybe Gary Busey should have been in it. Would have bring the people. There it is. Dear Life from the Path. This one's kind of rough, boys. I'm married to the love of my life. Starts out all right.
Yeah, say that's a good start.
Our 25th anniversary will be here soon. My issue is my husband has a beard I cannot stand. It's long and unkempt and makes him look 10 years older than he is. It has become a real issue between us.
Is this Duck Dynasty?
He keeps... I'll tell you something about them Duck Dynasty boys in a minute. He keeps telling me about women and coworkers who tell him what a nice full beard he has. I don't care what these women think. I am his wife, and I think he should shave it or at least trim it for me. I am withholding sex, which is very important to him, until he trims it and no longer makes eye contact with him because I can't stand looking at him. What else should I do? I love him more than anyone else in the world does. Shouldn't he respect my wishes? Holy cats! Here's what I can tell you right off the bat. You married an idiot.
Yeah.
The wife says, I'm withholding sex. I say, see ya, beard. Nice knowing you. It looked good for a while.
But Stu at the office says it's nice. Stu?
we had
Sex with wife.
we had a good run, crumb catcher, but it's time for you to go.
Yeah, she's not being off. I mean, I totally get what she's saying, but at the same time, that's pretty extreme. I'm holding everything back because I love him so much.
Would you like to make love to a thorn bush, Dan?
I did not marry the bearded woman. I mean, I
don't
can
know, you could
understand where she's coming from, but yeah, she's not.
You know, here's the thing, Dan. Until you've kissed a bearded man, I can't trust what you're saying.
All right. Here's Dan. I'm gonna give you a hypothetical. Okay.
Yeah.
Your wife develops a giant. I mean, like a 3-inch diameter wart on her face, and there is hairs growing out of it, and she has the ability to cut the hairs back, but instead she lets them grow out like a foot and maybe ponytails them or something.
No bow. Just
she
a
has the
ponytail.
option to cut it off, but simply refuses because people at her work think they're nice.
I'm not going to hold back from her.
Right.
I feel like you could have seen that coming, Ben.
Sorry, I thought the mole
Because
with
I
the
truly love
ponytail
her.
did it. Booba?
What were your thoughts on this thing?
I'm really grossed out by that hypothetical we just
By
came
the
up with.
ponytail wart?
By the
Who is it?
ponytail wart. Yeah,
That's why I thought it would
He
work.
needs a shave.
This is ridiculous. And the fact that this is becoming an actual issue between the two of them that's in some way detrimental to their marriage.
Yeah,
for
there's
this
a pride
woman.
issue going on.
It's just ridiculous. It's to a point where they both feel like they don't need to give up their situation, but one of them needs to just become an adult and deal with it. And it seems like the easier portion would be the guy just to shave his beard.
No, she should hide eggs in it. I would wait till he's sleeping and put.
I can cure what ails you. Let me call her husband.
Let me grow this beard out.
Yeah. So the deal with it, here's what I think about this guy in the beard.
Are we out on the egg thing?
I think gum would be effective.
I feel like
that'd be sticky.
No, you
He'd
put
have
the
to throw
egg
it
in
up.
there, and then it'll take 3 days for it to start to smell, and he'll think he always hit a skunk in the car. He'll smell around and be like, hit a skunk. I'm sure of it. I'm sure a skunk
How
is
about
there.
a piece of salmon?
Very low.
How are you going to get the salmon to stick in there? Piece
Gum.
of salmon. Gum and salmon. Use the gum to hold the salmon. Okay, I feel like that's all right.
I think he needs to shave his beard.
Yeah.
And she
I
needs
feel like
to
after
put out-
25 years of marriage, they shouldn't have to write into Dear Live from the Path about a beard issue.
Yeah.
All right, you want secular on this action?
Yeah.
Here it is. Secular says, if you want to make your marriage last 26 years, please stop using sex as a weapon to manipulate your husband. That
Amen.
said, your opinion should supersede that of women he sees at work. A beard can be flattering if it is kept clean and trimmed. If it's not, a man can look like Howard Hughes in his latter days, which is truly unfortunate. That was unnecessary. Howard Hughes was a handsome devil.
Boy, I mean, it's fortunate, I guess, that he's dead and can't hear the horrendous
Hold
insult that
on.
was just levied at him.
The next advice is killer. Because you are unable to get your message across, enlist the help of your husband's barber. Perhaps he can get through to him. Have you ever had a hairstylist intervention? If I ever had someone show up at my house with a bag of goodies to cut my wig, and they said, look, your wife and I have been talking, and you've gotten out of hand, I can't imagine I'd let him in the house. You know what I'm saying? No one has a barber intervention.
I'd never forgive that guy for being in cahoots with my wife about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's got to be some kind of dude code or whatever. You
That's
can't
right.
be in cahoots about a man's beard.
Does anybody know a barber? I feel like we should ask somebody whether he would ever do that.
I don't think I know any
I don't
barbers.
know any barbers.
Yeah, I don't either. Here it is.
Okay.
Dear Life from the Path. Oh, boy. I'm planning on moving into the same apartment complex as my ex-boyfriend. It's all I can afford and still be close to where my family lives. He'll be on one side and I'll be on the far side. I don't think he will be driving to the side I'll be living on. Should I text him and let him know I'm moving nearby, but I'm not stalking him? Or should I keep my mouth shut and hope he never sees my car? Your thoughts?
Text.
Yeah, you let
He
him know.
needs to know. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, that's going to be weird no matter what you
Why
do.
is it weird? Move in, don't say anything to him.
Whatever. You're going to run into him in the laundromat or something.
So just let it happen when it happens. You don't have to,
Paul, you live here? Oh, yeah, I always have. Well,
I had every idea.
Hey,
I just-
it's an ex-boyfriend. I don't run my decisions through you.
you're
I
such
move
a part
where I
of my
want to
past,
move.
I forgot where you lived.
Yeah,
No,
and she's not talking about running the decisions through him. She's just talking about letting him know when she's leaving.
he's not on the phone tree anymore. He's not. He doesn't get the phone call or the email. You just do what you want.
I suppose it depends on why they're not together, right? Like, if she broke up with him, he might see that as incorrectly. Maybe he's a creeper.
And that's why they broke up.
Well,
Well,
actually,
that
if
much,
he's-
she wouldn't be moving there.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's not a threat. Otherwise, she wouldn't be moving near him.
That's what Dan just
He's
said.
just trying to stop the awkwardness. That's all.
Yeah.
I would just let it happen.
I'd let him know.
I'd ride up to it right on a horse and say, "Hello, awkwardness, partner. Let's dance."
That's the text.
no text.
That's the text.
Just let it happen
No.
randomly.
I think it's a bad idea.
You know what? You guys are like talking to a wet blanket tonight.
I know.
All three of you.
I think I would text.
would
Wait.
text.
Okay. What?
It's
Okay.
just a courtesy.
Booba, what would you say in your text?
Hey, I'm not trying to reestablish connection to you, but I wanted to let you know that I am moving into the apartment complex. I don't want you to feel weird if you see my car or see me at any point in time.
I don't care.
This is my situation.
I don't care.
This is why I'm
No,
not
I don't
dating
care.
you, Mike.
We
Because
broke
I feel
up.
like when we broke up, this is what you would do.
If you would stop stalking me, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
We are not joined at the hip. You're suffering me.
Okay. So how close? How close would she have to move?
Next door. Or in with him.
By the way,
I'm
By the
moving
way,
in.
I'm in your closet.
Then you might want to send him a note. I do it handwritten style though.
You don't like even same building. She's parking potentially next to his vehicle.
Yeah.
You don't think you say, "Hey, buddy, I now live in your building"?
It depends. If he said, like, let's say I was walking into my new apartment, and my ex-girlfriend came rolling down the stairs. She's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I live here now, and then I keep walking. That's it. We're done.
What do you mean you live here?
What do you mean? What do I live here? I live here. I'm going up to my apartment, and then I leave her dumbfounded on the stairs on how a handsome man has moved in next to her, who's already taken.
Yeah,
I'd tell
I'd
him.
probably still do it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's in the text.
What's the harm in it? Let me ask you that.
What is the gain?
What is the harm in it?
What is the gain?
It's just being courteous.
As I suspected, you don't have any. There's no harm. What could it possibly do poorly?
You're just reintroducing someone in your life that's not of concern anymore.
You'd rather you freak him out in the stairwell.
What kind of weird? I mean, when you're dating Casper, he gets freaked out for no reason. It's you. It's just you. You're not an apparition. You know what I'm saying? You just live in a place. Man, just gotta live.
Oh, fancy seeing you here because I knew you lived here. Yeah.
I didn't know you lived here. Yeah, I moved in a couple months ago. Okay, I'm gonna do my laundry. See ya. Done.
Remember when we used to do laundry together?
It's more awkward when you throw the text out, because then they're gonna come over for a second awkward altercation. If you just wait for the one ultimate awkward, you'd be done with
What
awkwardness.
if I say, Dear Joe, just so you know, I moved into the same apartment complex. Don't come over.
Yeah, that's not awkward at all.
I think you say, thanks for all the great times we had together. Please help me move in.
Yeah.
And then we'll be done.
And then
Do you
that's
by
it.
chance have some brown sugar? I need some for this recipe that I'm using.
That sounds like an altercation waiting to happen.
All right, what's the secular
Secular
advice?
says, hold on. Before you sign the lease, ask yourself how you'd feel if you saw your ex-boyfriend involved with another woman. If it would be painful, then it would be healthier for you to find an apartment somewhere else. Next, ask yourself why your ex might think you were stalking him. If there's a grain of truth to it, again, you should not move there. If, however, there isn't, it is not necessary to text him about anything. If he sees your car and has a problem with it, do not make it your problem. The romance is over, and so is the drama. Live your life and let him live his. Yeah.
She already said that she couldn't live somewhere else.
The romance is over, and so is the drama. You guys are bringing the drama.
She's
I'm trying to cut it off at the quick.
This woman's creating the drama by living near her boyfriend. It's seriously nowhere else. There's no apartments anywhere.
Okay, that seems a little
I
far-fetched.
find that
actually.
hard to believe.
Here we go. One more.
Okay.
Dear Live from the Path, I recently sent my wife flowers, but she took umbrage because I didn't take the time to stop by the florist and jot down a message myself. I phoned in the order and dictated the message instead. I am hurt and mystified over this alleged faux pas. Did I commit a social no-no?
I bet you 95% of flowers are done that way. I mean, well, I guess when you're
What's the point of having them delivered if you have to go in there and sign the note?
Yeah.
It seems completely reasonable
It's
to
the
me.
surprise.
Yeah, I don't
It's
see
the gallantry.
She probably can't even read his handwriting.
It's the spectacle.
I feel
Have
like
you-
You got flowers on
Have
your
you no
desk.
showmanship, Booba?
No, I don't.
Sign it with some flair.
You got
love you, love Booba.
Heart, smiley face.
hurt.
Here's
smelly
2
face.
daisies and a puppy.
That's ridiculous. You're getting flowers. Don't complain about the note.
I'm talking to a stone wall. Here's what I'm saying.
I don't care about your showmanship. You're getting flowers. Like, obviously, I was thinking about you.
You're like
Obviously-
dating a paper towel. You know what I'm saying? People want a little spice in their life.
Yeah,
And you're like, I sent the
flowers.
flowers. What more do you want from me? I spent money. Do I got to shave my beard?
Do I have to get rid of this great beard? Stu at the office loves it. I don't see why you hate it.
You need to find the line in which your woman knows that you care and then cross it. You know what I'm saying? Find out where your woman knows, look, this is how I feel loved, and then you warp speed at that line and give it all you got. Maybe your woman doesn't even want flowers. She just wants to know that you're thinking about her. And so you make sure that happens by writing down a handwritten note. You probably could have skipped the flowers, wrote a handwritten note, and just left it for her in her purse. That's love, Booba. That's love.
Okay.
And you're like licking a salt block.
I will have to say that sounds pretty good, and I might have to take that advice.
Yeah,
However,
it does.
However, you got flowers. Stop complaining.
I'm the Engelbert Humperdinck of flower
I
delivery.
do not care. You got flowers. Stop complaining about the handwritten message.
I have a feeling this is
That's
someone who's never
ridiculous.
satisfied.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
It's just like
that
"Will
is
you send me
outrageous.
this-"
What if this guy does this all the time? He screws something up.
Buys her flowers?
Now, that didn't say that. Now, for starters. And second of all, it's not like he said, hey, send my babe some flowers, write whatever you want on there. Who
Exactly.
gives a flip, you know?
Sorry about the
It's not like he just said from Jim.
He dictated a message.
You're totally mischaracterizing this man and this woman.
He dictated a message. He said, here's my sentiments. It's better than any like Hallmark card. It's his sentiments. They're just not in his handwriting.
You're assuming way too much.
so
He
a
probably,
man, a man with no hands can't love his wife?
that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it does. Sorry, I dictated this. You jerk.
It is not the dictation
I
that's
didn't-
the problem. It's the non-personal touch.
He sent her flowers.
He
and
provided
gave her a message.
It's a personal message. What makes it non-personal?
Dear
It depends on
Susan,
what he wrote,
I
I
really
guess.
love you. Hope these flowers make your day better.
Here's what it
Love,
sounds like
Pat.
to me: is he does this crap all the time.
If only I'd had hands, I could
now
love
he's
you better.
now he's looking for the congregation to love on him like it was his fault when he does this. He does this all the time.
You don't
You're
know.
making that accusation.
That's probably him.
You're jumping to there.
No, he has a handlebar mustache,
No.
and he rides his bike to work
No.
every day, and he pays no attention to his wife.
But
She
maybe
needs to
they
stop complaining.
He drinks-
Could be he got flowers delivered and the person writing the message can't spell, and just messed it all up. Then she got angry. I could see that.
That's not what it said. The basic take is she was upset because it wasn't handwritten.
Yeah.
I take umbrage with that.
That's what he said. He seems like a fancy pants who tries to win people
He
over
tells
with
it
his
like
smooth
it is.
words.
His wife may or may not
If
be
he told it
difficult.
like it is, he wouldn't use the word umbrage because no one talks like that.
I looked it up, and I agree with his use of it.
I cannot say that I've ever used that word. I'm sure I haven't.
Stop complaining.
I bought a 3-pack of umbrage a year ago. They last forever.
Here's the secular's advice. Dear secular, dear fella, of course not. For your wife to have criticized your gift was ungracious.
Yeah.
She may have been upset about something else or just having a bad day. His reaction is ungracious.
Probably a bad decade.
Because of his poor leadership as a husband.
No.
Dictating the message on the card was perfectly appropriate.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel like I've been affirmed here.
You got time for one more?
Yeah.
As long as
Well,
you're-
hold on. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Thanks for listening. Hey, if you're on 99.3, I love you, but I got to let you go. Please visit our sponsors, Capana's Coffee and Gelato in Ames, Iowa. ValleyServices.net for all your residential commercial cleaning needs. The Eisenhower team, for if you're buying or selling a home, those guys will help you out. And On Purpose Promotions, go to onpurposepromos.com. Jared Roy help you out. Get you some stuff put together. Have you walk out in style. Thanks for listening to Live from the Path. Okay, we're back.
Here it is.
Okay, go.
Hopefully this is the final one. I can't take any more of you guys today. Dear Live from the Path, I have been divorced for nearly 2 years, and my ex and I have moved on. My question is about our family portraits. I don't want to throw them away because of the kids, but I don't really want them around my house either. What should I do?
Give them to the kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
That seems real easy.
Or if they're not old enough to handle it, put them in a box and store them, and then at the right time, give it to them.
Yeah. Now, it would be outrageous to say, I don't want them in the house at all. I mean, grow
Yeah.
up a little.
Yeah.
You were part of the process of the splitting up. But get a nice box, rent a storage unit, you don't like it. But yeah, give them to the kids. That's not fair to take that away from the kids. I'd keep it for the kids.
Yeah, actually, secular's advice was pretty much the same. Nothing fancy there. Okay, here we go.
We gotta start charging for this.
Yeah.
What is? Okay, here we go. Hold on. Dear Live from the Path, my husband and I decided to take some classes at a local community college. We both have college degrees, but there was a class we were interested in. We are the oldest students in the class by 10 to 20 years. I am irritated by our classmates' disrespect and rudeness to the instructor. It takes the form of talking with each other when the instructor is speaking, then asking her to explain what she just discussed while they were talking. Sometimes they get so loud that I can't hear what the teacher is saying. Is there anything I can do as a fellow student to get them to stop? Because of the age difference, I'm afraid most of them would think I was being bossy. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, no one likes you.
Try out online classes.
Are you saying you can't go to regular classes?
They can't handle it.
I don't know. I've ever been to a class where that does not happen. Here's the way that most teachers that I have handle it. They use profanity because kids aren't used to it. And they look up and they're like, what happened there? Sounded like a profanity. And then the kids pay attention. That's public school. That's the way it loves. You can't remember any time when your teacher used profanity?
No, I don't think so.
Seriously? Booba?
I don't think I
Nope,
can.
not at once.
I guess my teachers were just out on a limb.
I think you drove them off the edge.
No, I didn't.
I think we all know who the loud person was.
I was being respectful. I sat in on an adult education class here over the last week for my job, and it's funny. Like you're used to a certain style of teacher in regular schooling, and then you get into the real world, and these guys, they're not restrained by the school board. They just say whatever they want, you know. And it takes you back a little bit. You're not used to sitting in a desk with the pencil and a piece of paper. And then there's just nothing but profanity up there, and you're like, no kidding. I didn't know you could just do whatever you want.
Should I write that down?
That's wild. I didn't think that was allowed by any teachers. Okay, word of advice. What do you got? Dan says go to computer school. Don't attend live classes.
I'll give you that as a second option. I feel like I'd say something. What do I care? What do I care? They think I'm some kind of old biddy.
Right.
What's it to me?
You're paying for the classes. You're there to get your own education. You're obviously there for a reason. I don't see a problem with walking up to him and be like, hey, whatever reason you're here, I'm here for this. I'm trying to learn. Shut up. Like, I have no problems with walking up to somebody and telling them to shut up.
Yeah, put your headphones on, Kim K. This ain't my problem.
Yeah,
Are
exactly.
you guys serious? Like you would do that? Because people really don't like that guy. You know what I'm saying?
That's not
I'm
my
not
problem.
there to be liked by everybody else.
Yeah,
I'm
you
there
are.
for
You're
my
there
own
to make
education.
friends.
No.
And help others.
I'll help them out when they start listening.
Love God, love people, not with conditions like you're saying.
I didn't say I didn't love them.
Now he's painted you correctly. You're a real jerk, Booba.
Okay, I don't doubt that. I'm an idiot and I'm a jerk, and I will never doubt
Here's
that
what I'm
whatsoever.
saying. Booba in the house. Shut yours.
I'm here. I'm here to learn. You shut up.
I'm here to learn. These size 27s are going to put up with your business.
Size 27, whatever.
What size of shoe do you wear? What was it then?
That's out with it.
I wear a size 19, Mike.
Okay, I overguessed it by 8. That seems pretty low when you get into the 19 range, doesn't it?
It certainly didn't merit your incredulity.
Yeah. 27.
That's just outrageous. I ain't no Sasquatch.
Thank you. You're making me as a bridge troll.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yet he says, "Where's my saying?"
Just because I fell off a beanstalk one time.
Booba the bridge troll. Yeah, no, I have no trouble with telling them to shut up. I'm here to learn. Stop talking.
Speaking of, you got to go to the Live from the Path website and check out the Jack and the Beanstalk rendition from the Live from the Path fellas.
It's classic.
It's fantastic.
the story of me.
The harp says, "I've been stolen." It really is pretty good. We don't put on good radio, but the stories are excellent, so you should definitely go check that out. Okay, Secular's advice was, the teacher you described does not appear to be a particularly effective one, or she would have better control of the classroom. Ooh, that's rough. Because the noise level is so high, you can't hear the lecture. I have 2 suggestions. The first is to speak privately with the teacher, and if that doesn't do the trick, when the students around you become disruptive, ask them to pipe down so you can hear what the instructor is saying. That is not being bossy. You paid for the class, and you should get your money's worth. You dudley do right. It's got to be kidding me. You guys are going to get your cars egged.
That's good stuff.
People don't put up with that jazz. Seriously.
I don't give a crap.
I take a cab. Drive somebody else.
Take a cab.
He carpools, so he doesn't have to worry about egging
Good
of
luck
his car.
egging a cab. It's already yellow.
You won't even see it.
Here's the thing: that would be my advice. I would have a harder time taking it.
Of course you would.
I'm not much for causing a stir. I'll probably try to sit close to the front and stay out of people's business. That's likely what I would do. But if I were a better man than I am, I would definitely.
I
say
just
something.
can't see you pulling it off with any type of. Is there any way to make this move right here with like any? Let's just say, is there any cool factor to this? Is
No,
there any way
no,
you could
No,
do
absolutely
this?
not.
None.
No.
So,
Either you got to.
You're drawing a line in the sand. You're done.
Yeah, either you got to be like a total rat spanker about it, where you're going to walk in there, and buff stuff and say you're going to shut your mouth, or I'm going to shut it for you.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be like, oh, hey guys,
You could pipe it down a little bit.
I know we're all here to learn and stuff, and sometimes we can't learn over the din of your stocking.
I feel like with my size 47s, when I walk into a room, I cause enough ruckus no matter what. I'm just going to walk up and be like, hey, you see the dude with Shaq feet? Yeah, shut up.
You met the right man.
I take umbrage with your chitter chatter.
They're not trying to really make friends. I mean, they're a generation older than the kids there.
Married and like 20 years older than them.
Yeah, they're just going back to get some continuing education.
What
type
a
of thing.
selfish endeavor. You could bring some of your college degree knowledge to the kids there. Maybe befriend them. But no.
I'm here to better myself.
Yeah, you're there for you and yourself only? That's lame.
You think the kids there are going to take your advice if they're...
If you weren't such a fuddy-duddy? Yeah.
They're not a
professor-
fuddy-duddy already.
So the professor's sitting there, they're explaining the class, teaching the class, and
Yep.
they're talking away, not paying attention to that person whatsoever. You think the person that's 20 years older than them is a student walking up to them and saying, hey guys, I've got a college degree already. Let me explain some knowledge that I've got.
No, you gotta-
think they're going to listen to that?
No, you got to talk in their language. Like, what up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Gray
I got
hairs
a
in the
college
house.
degree. You want to talk?
Yeah. That's how you make friends,
Do
Troy.
you want to text me about my doctorate?
Why do you got to act like some kind of marshmallow man
I
when
feel
you
like
do it?
that's-
Now, hold on a minute. Hold on. So for you guys that are listening, you're not getting a good picture. For some reason, as you get older, you have a problem with your elbows.
They kind of...
Buva does it like they stick out as if you have broken your arms recently. So
Yeah.
as soon as you turn 65, your arms break and they go out.
Yeah, like there's a golf club between both the inside of your elbows that can't ever get out of there.
I'm just giving an accurate representation of me being that larger gentleman.
You want me
I
to
walk
text
into
you
room
on a
like this.
surfboard?
And you talk like that guy, like the troll from the Door of the Explorer, the guy, I'll give you my quizzers. That's what you're talking about, that guy.
Solve my riddle. Who went to college? This guy.
Elbows out, this guy.
Man. I hope I don't ever go to community college. It might be a small engine repair class, Troy. You never know.
Who cares?
That's what I'm saying.
They
That's the way those people in small engine repair are. They're talkative.
Right, but the people that are there to learn are paying to do this. They're
Now,
furthering
wait,
their education.
here's the thing. We didn't talk about the fact that maybe they can't hear very well. I mean, they could have a reasonable hearing problem.
No, because they're talking about it's only certain portions where they just can't hear. They're being disruptive, and then it gets to a point sometimes that she can't.
Why don't they just call the college Troy College if that's where you're going to be? It's for everybody. If they want to pay the money and disrupt, I feel like they've paid their money. They can do what they want. Boova, don't look to Ben for advice.
I'm
Hit me.
So what you're saying is the people that are there and are talkative and are chatting,
Yes.
have paid to come to this class,
Yep.
so they have the right to completely.
No, they're not renting the room, Mike.
In all honesty, you don't have to be there. If you're going to be there in text with your buddy, I feel like it's a very easy way.
It's none of your
or
business how
someone
I
else-
spend my money. If I
you
want to
can-
go to college just to cause a
Right.
disruption, I can do that.
Right, okay, so the next time we go to McDonald's, I'm going to just destroy your time that you've been there because I'm a paying customer.
Sure.
Is that what you're
This
saying?
is not communist
I
China.
have the
Absolutely.
right to
If you-
do that.
yes.
I'm going to go to a restaurant
Yes, you do.
and start screaming because I have the right because I'm a paying customer.
Yes.
I paid to be here. I
Yes.
don't care about you guys.
We're on the same page, Troy.
And then that guy is going to get yelled at if somebody else comes up to him and says, "Hey, shut up."
Absolutely.
You think that guy's in the wrong.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. It seems like we're at a complete and total difference on this one. then.
We're on agreement.
No,
Disrupt.
not once.
Here's what secular says. Oh no, I missed it. Here it is. The teacher you described is not. We already read that one. Done.
Yeah.
We're done with that one. Here we go. We got one more, Ben.
yeah, one more.
One more. Then we're wrapping this thing up. My husband and I often go out to eat at local ethnic restaurants with a small group of friends. When we're at Mexican restaurants, I often throw a couple of arribas into our conversation. Oh boy, this is getting outrageous. When we're at an Italian restaurant, I will sometimes use an Italian accent to say pizza pie. My husband told me it's offensive.
Wait, this is a woman?
Yeah, I don't mean.
That's funny.
You guys are being disruptive. I don't mean to insult anyone. My comments are made in the spirit of fun. Furthermore, the owners and servers at these restaurants are hardly ethnic Mexicans or Italians. I would never wish to hurt someone or be derogatory, so I told my husband I'd consult you. What do you think? Muy caliente in Iowa.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Someone from around here.
Keep it up.
Keep it up.
That's living life right
That's
there.
hysterical.
I mean, the people at the restaurant probably hate you. I can't. But I'm not sure that's your problem.
Yeah, you're a paying customer. You have every right to do whatever you want in there. You can scream and you can yell, and no one can say anything because you have a right to be there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's probably contained within the people that are in at the table. I mean, I doubt the whole restaurant knows that's going on. You know,
I don't know. It's tough. I mean, it's very awkward to say Ariba, not in like a very
You
excited
don't really
way.
whisper, Ariba.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stereotyping, though, isn't it, fellas?
No, I'll take
That's like me going to Godfather's
Okay.
Pizza and going, "You got a pizza pie back there, a mafia."
What's the difference between
They're never
that,
going to advertise.
profiling or whatever you want to call it, and then bringing out a sombrero and putting on your head when you're singing Happy Birthday?
It's their restaurant. They're the Mexicans,
They
as far
can
as
just
I'm concerned.
stereotype themselves.
so what would be
I
the
feel like they
stereotype
are
of
stereotyping
McDonald's?
themselves, so
Huh?
what's wrong with going along with it?
What would you say at McDonald's?
A stay old man, one that doesn't age with time. Apparently, I don't know. It's not an ethnic restaurant. It only happens at
Good
ethnic
point. Yeah,
restaurants.
good point.
Now, Taco John's might be a bit stretched. You know, it's pretty American Mexican. But, like,
Yeah.
if you're going to, like, a restaurant run by whatever, an ethnic person, then I feel like, yeah, the whatever American stereotype you think they have, which is
Yeah.
probably not even true.
I'll take the Kung Pao chicken. You got a dog back there. Like, I mean, I throw in a couple of Aribas. I'm sorry. I'm for this.
I
Whatever
should-
this is.
I think this lady's hysterical.
I
want to
shouldn't
go
have
out
read
to
this
lunch
one.
with
This
a
was a
group.
mistake on my part. I should have skipped
This is
past
the
this one.
podcast and internet radio. We do what we want.
Okay, you want to hear secular's advice?
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
wait. What was Buva? What was your advice? Keep it up or let
Keep
it go?
up. I don't see a problem with it.
Do what you go. I feel like it probably is disruptive though.
Yeah, but
No one says like I'll have the lunch number 5 Ariba.
Arriba. See, you're asking if you're wanting don't do it. You're asking the wrong person because I have way too much fun at restaurants. I am the guy that's probably a little bit too obnoxious, and I try and tone it down, but sometimes I have way too much fun.
Do you ring the bell on the way out for good service?
Yes,
At the LJ's, you bet.
absolutely. I will call the waitress or waiter by name.
Oh, that's annoying.
Oh, man.
I'm sure it is.
Oh.
I'm sure it is.
Hi,
When they come
Pam.
over,
Thanks
hey,
for
Karen,
those
how you
fries."
doing today?
Oh, for heaven's sakes. That is terrible.
They're just like, good. How are you? I'm like, I'm great, Karen.
People hate
They
that.
go, I'm sure they do.
Well, then why don't you stop it?
9 times out of 10, though, the whole situation, I make them smile.
You
have
know they
fun.
spit in your food.
They have fun. I'm cool with it. It tastes
People,
delicious.
people do that to me at the gas station all the time because I wear a company shirt with my name on it, and they'll give me my change back. They're like, "Thanks for stopping, Mike." I'm like, I don't know you. Just give him my change so I can leave.
I had someone call me Jake the other day because I had my Blues Brothers Jake shirt. I'm like, I'm not Jake. Oh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Not Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to stop that.
No.
People don't like
Absolutely
that.
not. I have so much fun, and I think
So
every
you're
ti- 90% of the time that I leave a restaurant, the waitress or the waiter is laughing.
They're
with me.
happy that you're leaving.
If that's the situation, then I gave them 20 to 40 minutes of grief so that they can have a sigh of relief for their shift after the big obnoxious guy left.
That's your rationale.
Hold on.
No, because I don't believe
That's
that
like
they
saying it's totally appropriate to drink 3 gallons of water just because you finally get the relief to take a whiz after an hour.
You're talking to a guy who drinks.
Sweet relief. It's totally worth it.
You're talking to a guy who drinks 2 gallons of water a day, man. That's good stuff. Yeah, okay. So I don't see a problem with it. That's just where I'm at. I don't see a problem.
You're a bonehead.
I would.
Fair enough. I don't see a problem.
Here's the deal. I think it's causing you're calling unnecessary attention to yourself. Like I just don't understand why you would do it. If someone's sitting with, I don't get embarrassed easily. I would leave if someone did that. If I sat down at an ethnic restaurant and my wife said, "Ariba, bring the burritos," I would leave. I would still love my wife from the car. I would. There's no way I would sit there and put up with that crap.
Mike, I feel like what we've determined today is that you and I should not go out to eat together.
I don't think that was even on the table anyway.
Fair enough. Wait, you were supposed to take us out to the F&Os.
Yeah, and I will be saying we want the pizza pie.
Yeah, see, not with
That's
me.
a spicy meatball.
This
yeah,
is
that'll
a
be-
Chicago style, so you gotta do a Chicago act.
Go ahead, Dan. This ought to be classic.
I have no idea.
Hey, someone's murdered in the streets.
Hey, will you take a bribe for that pizza? See you, Chicago listeners. Hold on, Secular's advice was, Dear Muy Caliente, when you visit a Jewish deli, do you tell the server, "Oy vey, I'll have the corned beef"? Your husband is right. Cool it. Not because you'll offend the servers in the restaurant, but because stereotyping makes you look like a fool.
I teach zone.
Yeah, no, that's wrong.
Says the fool.
They're gonna come out. They're gonna sing a song in Spanish to you and bring you out a margarita that's the size of your head and put a sombrero on you, and everyone's gonna have fun while you eat fried ice cream. And they're gonna have.
I feel like the American ethnic restaurants do that, but the true ethnic restaurants don't do that.
All the Mexican restaurants that I've been to, you've got the sombreros on the wall. You've got everything. They're typecasting themselves, or they wouldn't be a Mexican
The
restaurant.
true Mexican
or an
restaurants
Italian
are
restaurant.
in a trailer, in a parking lot
Taco
somewhere.
Casa is
Yes.
Spanish.
Dos hermanos.
Okay.
They're what? How do you not typecast that?
What do you
They're
mean
a type
Taco
of
Casa
food.
is Spanish? You think just because I put the name in Spanish, I'm a Spanish
I
restaurant?
walk over there. What's the menu going to be in, Mike?
What do you mean?
What's the menu going to be in?
I don't know.
It's probably going to be in Spanish, right?
I don't know. I haven't been there.
Okay. Most likely the menu's going to be in Spanish. You're sitting there. You're going to be talking to people who are Hispanic. Are you going to offend them every time you scream Arriba? Or are they going to laugh at you and then think you're an idiot?
I think Dan's right.
Whatever.
I think they're going to spit in your food.
I don't think they're
Hey,
going to
wait, now hold on. Is it's funnier when it's a woman doing it though. I mean, like a guy's
Yeah, I think
obnoxious,
that's
but
true.
if a ladies do, it's kind of funny.
I feel like it's an intoxicated woman. I feel like
She may have had way
thinking
too
so.
many
feel like
margaritas.
a non-intoxicated woman does not say those things. Anyway, that was it. Dear Life of the Path.
Oh, hey, hold on a second. Check out the etymology of the word taco. According to the Real Academia Española, publisher of Diccionario de Lengua Española, the word taco describes a typical Mexican dish of maize tortilla folded around food. The original sense of the word is of a plug or wad used to fill a hole.
There's a hole in the wall. Taco it.
Hole in the mouth.
Oh,
The sense development from the online etymological dictionary defines taco as tortilla filled with spiced meat, and describes its etymology as derived from Mexican Spanish, light lunch, literally plug wadding. The sense development from plug may have taken place among Mexican silver miners who used explosive charges in plug form consisting of a paper wrapper and gunpowder filling.
Okay, that's cool. The first taco was an explosive?
Huh. I think that's what they're saying.
I can live with that.
That's cool.
Better wrap this thing up, Ben.
It was downhill an hour ago.
Yep.
You've been listening to Live from the Path.
Fair.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with the podcast, you guys. I tell you what, I really appreciate you. I really do.
We all do.
Arriba, you know.
Oy vey. Arriba.
We will
Pizza pie.
we will see you next week. Thanks for listening to Live from the Path. If you haven't done so, go ahead and get us that submission. We'll get you out to free Ring the Bell. We got one gone already. We got 2 more to go.
No doubt.
Info@livefromthepath.org. Hit us up on the Facebook page. Thanks for listening.